I mean, statistically, you probably only kill one. At least two of these people have to survive.
You'd think. But Jesus hates me.
All right, once we figure out where Michaelson ran off to, we could probably get started.
Every time we get one, we lose another.
Anyone have an opportunity to watch the Kismet's mission on Tuesday?
Not yet.
Because I felt it was one of my best written ones.
All I want to know is, did we kill the Orion spy?
Not dead, but captured.
The Doctor still wants to Falcon, so that may come up.
That reminds me, they did not post a fleet report about it.
It shows he's still in roll 20.
Yeah, I think I see him on.
Oh, there he is.
He's in the channel now.
Yeah,
sorry, Discord went crazy on me.
Yeah, it's been doing that lately. Anyone else having issues? Because I could attempt to switch servers again.
I'm good.
I'm all right.
Cool. All right, well, Lieutenant Commander Reggov, I believe the floor is yours.
Alrighty. Acting Captain's Log, Stardate 53329.3. I have assumed command of the USS Sarek as both Captain Starks and Commander Prax were gravely injured during an explosion in the shuttle bay. The doc tells me they have been stabilized and will enter surgery within the hour. Our helmsman, Ensign Michaelson, was also injured during combat with a Derrick's class Romulan warship. Could ever pronounce that damn name.
Close enough.
Damn thing took us by surprise and caused damage to sickbay. Obviously, the shuttle bay will need repairs, as our quote-unquote cargo decided to wake up and kill the Romulan boarders on our vessel and blow himself up inside of a shuttle while still inside of the shuttle bay, rather than surrender to our custody. I've just instructed the chief engineer to inspect the ship and conduct repairs while the investigation of the incident is conducted.
All right, very good. All right, so I'm going to have you guys start scene one. You guys are going to start it in the briefing room with the uninjured members of the senior staff, which I think are 4 of them. The doctor, the 2 chiefs, and Lieutenant Commander Reggov in the briefing room.
Collectively known as just the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So basically, I just imagine I just instructed the Chiefs to inspect the ship and conduct repairs, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so with that, I kind of see them kind of reporting back their inspection findings to you in the briefing room. And like the doctors are also to give you an update on the patients is how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chiefs, how's the ship doing?
Well, sir, to no one's surprise, the sickbay is in shambles, which is not ideal considering the very critical surgeries that are about to take place. We've got power losses all around that sector. There may be damage to the EPS grid, still working on that. And there's certainly a giant hole in the bulkhead from a wonderful explosive gift from our Romulan visitors. So, everything's going to hell so far.
All right. Have you come up with a plan of fixing? Obviously, we need to get the med bay up first so we can, help the casualties and whatnot.
Yeah, having the med bay scanners would be useful.
Ideally, I'd like to take a team with me down to the med bay and work on the power loss before the surgeries. That's probably going to be the doctor's most inconvenient problem.
Right. So, would the EPS grids affect the med bay at all? He said it's damaged around there as well.
Suspected damage. We haven't been able to locate it for sure yet to really double check. It's just based on some of the symptoms we've seen in the med bay. It's likely. But we've kind of been running around like chickens with our heads cut off so far, so no time to do any really deep diving.
Okay. So, out of character, who would I have running the investigation?
So far, nobody.
Okay.
I figured that might be something you'd want to head up personally.
Okay, so while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna investigate this whole mess that we're in right now. See why this alien decided to kill himself inside of a shuttle.
He was human.
Out of character question. Okay, that's never mind. It was answered.
Yeah, Myr just spoke up after he said alien. He was human.
Oh, so he was human then.
He was surgically altered to look like an Orion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did the captain know this?
Yes. I did tell him. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I found out, I relayed it to him.
Lieutenant Commander, there is other issues as well with your investigation. From what the teams have been able to, my teams have been able to see, the shuttle bay has sustained massive damage. So what evidence you may be able to collect may be rather difficult for us to turn up. Various control panels throughout the ship, as my fellow chief has noted, there is various control panels as well that are just damaged outright. There's various hull breaches we need to repair as well, but we're going to need to be in a dry dock to have that fixed. That's nothing my team can really do, even with the worker bees.
You do have access to extravehicular suits to repair hull breaches on the outside of the ship.
Yeah, you can replicate the materials and patch the hole. You just have to do spacewalks.
Sorry, I thought from misunderstanding of the rules, because I thought if you have a breach, it's one of those things you can't really repair on your own. But if we can, then yeah.
Well, I mean, given time, yeah, of course you can. It's Star Trek. Given time, an engineer can do anything.
Is the out of character? Is the Independent still around us? Are they making sure we're safe, or what are they doing?
No, they are not in the area.
Okay. And did I set course back to the nearest dry dock? Or
you could say that if you want, like you set course back to Narendra, if you want.
I will.
In character question.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Acting captain, what are we going to do about the orders we blatantly disregarded?
That will have to get addressed when the captain recovers from his surgery, if he recovers from surgery. If not, we'll look into it at that point. For now, I need your efforts concentrated on repairing the ship, and I'll look into the investigative matters on that topic, Chief.
Will do, sir.
Captain. Just so you may be aware, with Prax is stable, but the symbiont is damaged. I may not be able to do anything about it here on the station, but we still have the cryopod, and as long as we can make it to Trillius, something might be able to be done. So I'd like to keep that as an option if that becomes a thing that needs to be done.
Do you know if they have repair bay there for the ship, a repair dock there?
Well, I mean, yeah, most of the homeworlds do.
Okay.
Most of the major homeworlds have a space dock of some kind.
Well, I think we should definitely take care of the XO. If that's where we have to go, we can change course.
I
and
mean,
head
it
there.
would improve her chances immensely, because there are things that they have on Trillius that I just don't have in my sick bay.
All right. Okay, so now out of character. Would Reggov know if it's how far that is from?
Oh
From
yeah,
here.
no, it's gonna be a few weeks or more, but I can put her in the cryopod, and that could keep them alive for a while.
Okay.
Keep in mind the Shackleton Expanse is in the beta quadrant, Trill is in the alpha quadrant.
Oh yeah, no, I know we'd have to go like maximum warp for a very long time. I got that.
Yeah, so yeah, Trill is basically next to Cardassian space, like it's near it. So
Yep.
you're looking at probably a month or more journey just to get there.
Okay. So,
But it may save her life in the yeah, you know.
got it. So
That's
Reggov is considering all this in his head, and
just an option, Captain.
yeah. So how long would the cryo keep them alive?
Theoretically, as long as we can keep the pod up.
Okay.
I mean, if I can find the damage and stabilize the symbiont and we put them in there, theoretically it could keep them suspended in that condition until we get there.
Okay. I think that would be the best course of action. I also suggest that you coordinate with engineers to attach a emergency supply of energy to it, just in case we lose power for whatever reason.
Okay. And also, in regards to Captain Starx, I can't promise that he won't need the help of certain enhancements to walk after this. Sorry, Ed, that's just me looking at what you wrote and
Oh no, that's very good. Very good
Pudding.
touch, Doctor.
yeah, he's gonna need assistance walking for the rest of his life. The nerve damage is unreal. He must have been standing like right there. The only thing that could have saved him from shrapnel is maybe a stack of crates.
Okay, so out of character again, who here doesn't have a task? So 3 are in mid bay, Doctor and Chiefs. Okay, so it'll be me and probably NPCs doing the investigation then. Okay, Doctor. Do what you can and keep me informed while I'm conducting the investigation, if you would, please.
Will do.
Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
Just as soon as you can get me my med bay back to full power, I'd be most grateful.
Lieutenant Commander, do you wish my security teams to continue the repairs of the shuttle bay, or do you want us to stay as much out of your security teams way as possible? I'm not sure how much of it you want us to fix during your investigation.
Right. We'll coordinate down there with you on that. Just for now, get your people in position.
Aye, sir.
All right, everyone's dismissed. Give your assignments.
And the doctor makes his way to sick bay with all the injured people.
All right. No, that was a very good scene.
Yeah, Kier's going to do the same and page, I guess, a few NPCs to join him down there.
Cool.
Lieutenant Commander heads down to the shuttle bay along with a couple of the non-named NPC security personnel.
Right.
I'm heading to main engineering and starting to call people all over the some of the engineering teams over the comms to stand by for the acting captain in the shuttle bay to kind of slow down what they're doing and until he tells us it's okay that we can keep going, and also getting arranging for our engineering team to get a independent power supply set up if we don't have one already for a cryo pod.
All right, very good. So we're going to go ahead and jump to scene 2. This one I entitled The Michaelson Surgery, so I think we're going to jump to him first, since I think this will probably be the easiest surgery that we're going to do today.
Yeah.
The easiest.
No. I already have a game plan. You already heard it.
Yeah, so Doc, I will let you take the lead on this one.
Okay, and I have no momentum, so bleh. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I guess reason medicine. Oh, sorry. I'm going to
So, like, if there's
First
any role play you want to do with any of the injured that might be
Yeah.
awake, i.e., Captain, i.e.,
yeah.
Michaelson.
Yeah, I'm gonna do right now. No, I already have Michaelson sedated because I'm waiting for the swelling to go down. So he's sedated. I'll go to the captain because he's conscious, but yeah, he's probably finding it hard to move his fingers and toes at the moment. Captain, are you with us? You took kind of a big explosion.
He's gonna look over at you in a glazed over fashion and just you'll feel a yes or kind of like an acceptance as a thought in your mind.
All right. Well, what I'm about to tell you is probably not going to make you happy, but your uniform is ruined. Basically, I'm trying to ease his mind a little bit, so I'm trying to joke with him, you know. So, yeah. I'm trying to ease your like mind a little bit because I have a feeling it's racing, even for the composed person you are.
I'm thinking that you've had me on a lot of nervous system suppressing drugs. If what your assessment was of losing, so I'm assuming that I'm groggy, unless you say otherwise. And not thinking at 100%.
That's also another reason why I thought I could get away with the joke. To be 100%.
You're gonna feel him expressing pain to you. Like you'll feel.
Yeah.
I can't say that you will feel the pain, but you will feel anguish as an emotion.
Yeah, and then I'll just like, Reaver, come here and give the captain a hypo spray. Don't worry, I'll be right with you, Captain. All right. And then I'm gonna go check on Prax, see that she's unconscious, and then I will go over to Michaelson, check the swelling in his head, and then start applying the sciences and the technos in his brains. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So, so this is going to be an extended task because it is surgery.
Yep.
The task role is going to be control or reason with your medicine skill. Difficulty 2. The magnitude will be 2. The work will be 8. And we will increase the complication range of this task to 2.
And I can use my focus of trauma surgery. I figured I could use this focus for all 3 of them.
Well, because the problem is like trauma surgery is more or less like you have an influx of patients that you have to get through quickly to stabilize them. I don't think that fits this. Because this is like slow controlled surgery, like actual finesse.
Well, here we go. Yep, nope. Yeah. I took a little more of your face.
Right, so I will be using that complication.
Yeah, I know.
However, Doctor, you notice that you are having difficulty trying to navigate around the swelling in the ear, but you figure that you could probably work your way around it if you were to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yep. Damn it.
Right, you bank a momentum with that one.
Oh, thank God.
Roll 7 challenge dice. Eight. So that will be 8. So that would be both breakthroughs you need.
Cool.
So after kind of backing off, resetting, re-looking at his ear, you're able to repair the damage to the canal, and you're able to fit the prosthetic earpiece in as well right after that.
Okay, and after all that's done, this is when I take the picture out and put it on his chest and just say, "You're still a bunch of trouble, kid," and then walk off and start working on somebody else.
Yeah, I just had to send something to Michaelson.
Yeah.
Because that would be the complication.
Yeah.
So good. That takes care of Michaelson. I think we'll actually head down to the shuttle bay.
All right. So the captain gets down there. They're acting captain.
He's not even dead in the ground yet.
So he gets down there and meets the engineering teams, and he's there with the security officers. Looks over to, what's his name? Master Chief Petty Officer Altera. Says, can you let me know the damage, the extent of damage in the shuttle bay, and we can determine what to fix first down here.
Well, Lieutenant Commander, control panels need to be replaced. Some of the hull parts of the hull need to be replaced, although the force field should hold for now. Various cosmetic damage to like the surfaces inside the shuttle bay itself, but the deck plating, the artificial gravity plating, basically everything that was underneath the deck plate needs to be replaced. So I suppose the first thing I would want to get done just for ease of movement would be the artificial gravity, just to make it easier for your teams and mine to move around, since not everyone is as well rated at EVA training as we would like.
Okay, and will that interfere at all with the investigation? Like, where are those located at, Chief?
Well, from my understanding of investigations, I imagine you'll want to look at that first, like look at everything before I touch it. Honestly, because yeah, we could. What I can do is I can try to make an effort to document everything I take out, take holographic pictures of everything, images, and then work with your teams to do that. Sort of repairing it. Reporting to your team as we go. And so the first thing we would do is like the deck plate, the artificial gravity, document that, and then move to the next step, and is repairing more and more to the surface. That's my suggestion anyway. I'm not, again, and you may have different procedures. Although I will say on the plus side, most of the damage is centered around the damaged shuttle. So thankfully we don't have to do the whole shuttle bay. So we should be able to move around in the shuttle bay proper to a degree, just not the immediate area where the shuttle detonated.
Right. This question eluded me at the briefing, but how much, you said there's structural damage, is that just around the shuttle bay, or was it caused from the battle?
Most of the structure damage is mostly centered around the shuttle bay and the explosion from the shuttle, because it was inside the ship, so there's a lot of damage from that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good, Chief. I'll assign one of my security officer just to help you along with the process, to fill out the forms right and whatnot, in case, just to make sure you guys are doing it right.
Agreed. Where do you wish for me personally to be working? I have 3 projects on the go, but I don't know which one you want me to have on full alert. My understanding is Medbay is being headed by the ops officer. I have some people working on the independent power supply, but I assume you'd want my personal attention here. Is that correct, sir?
You can go ahead and determine where your efforts will be needed the most. I had you head down here just I wanted to make sure that the shuttle bay wasn't about to cause further damage to the ship, etc.
Not at this time. It's stabilized for now, and we'll be able to work on it. The trick will be the anything that requires fabrication of hull deck plating as such near the shuttle bay doors and the like, so we don't have to put as much energy into the force fields. I mean, that is, as I said before, it's one of those things I'd rather do at dry dock, but if we were gonna repair that, that's probably the last thing we can repair, honestly, because we need to be at full stop and I need to install the plating and such.
I see. So, as you know, of course, I'm a security specialist, so this was I had like a 2-day course on engineering, so pardon me, excuse me for sending you down here and wasting your time, Chief. You can go ahead and go repair the EPS grid. That seems more important than plate decks.
Oh, excuse me, sir? I think I misunderstood you.
You said that the EPS grid needs repairs, no?
Yeah, Chief Book mentioned something along that line, yes.
Okay, so out of character. Take this back. I thought you just said that you sent a team to the EPS grid.
Oh, whoops, that's on me. No, I meant to sickbay. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
To help with the repairs of sickbay.
I was confused there. Okay, so
sorry, sir. I'm
No, we're so out of character here. Just okay, so you said shuttle bay, the control panels, and just the whole ship.
Yeah, like the control panels and all that inside the shuttle bay. There's a lot of damaged things inside there, so it's rather comprehensive. It's something we can fix. It's just it'll be slow going away from Stardock because we have to basically make all the plating, we have to fabricate everything ourselves.
Okay. All right, Chief. I will leave you to your devices. I'm going to conduct this investigation. You can determine your best course of action.
Very good, sir.
And with that, the two teams split off doing their tasks.
Okay. So I'll stick with the engineers for now. Chief Altera, what would you be doing once you're dismissed from the acting captain?
I'll lead the repair team that's in the shuttle bay, and work along with the security officer nearby, trying to and taking pictures with my imager with everything we're doing. I'm also going to keep my earpiece tuned into the sick bay engineers. The team of engineers I sent to sick bay to help with repairs there, just in case there's a chief. We really need you, or if I overhear them saying they're going to do something strange.
Okay.
And I also have a team working on an independent power supply in main engineering for a cryopod or a biobed. But I personally am at the shuttle bay helping with repairs there.
Okay. So the question is, what are you repairing?
First thing will be the artificial gravity systems in shuttle bay.
Okay. So roll me control and engineering. We'll call this difficulty 1.
Is that accounting for my engineering team perk as part of my role? I assume so, but...
Well, since crew support wasn't spent on that, you're all kind of working together to pull the plates up without causing damage to the main structure underneath.
Yeah, okay.
So you could use a crew support to create an advantage, but it's difficulty 1.
Yeah, no. I was talking about the chief engineer thing, but it makes sense that we're kind of...
Yeah, you definitely would have to read that to me, because I do not remember all of those off the top of my head.
Oh, sorry. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, because I don't know what all the positions do and allow for. Especially now that we have 4 rule books.
Just pulling it up in the book to make sure I'm not misremembering it.
I can never remember what page that's on either.
I think your chief engineer thing only applies if you're in engineering, but don't quote me on it.
Yeah, that sounds right. Does Prax know what page that's on?
127. I just found it.
Yeah, same.
If I don't know it, Prax knows it.
Yeah, it's whenever he's on board the ship, he has the advantage. Engineering department.
So where does it say the engineering department perk? What does that do?
The chief engineer is responsible for ensuring that the ship remains operational and functional and commands the engineering department aboard the ship. When aboard the ship, the chief engineer always has the advantage engineering department, which represents the ship's complement of engineers and technicians. So I don't benefit from that advantage if I'm off ship or I'm on planet. If I'm on the ship itself, then all my engineering stuff's easier, as long as I can get to the engineering department. Like, I'll rather not.
I think you have to decide how to use that advantage. I don't think it automatically makes everything easier because it might not be the best use for it.
True. I'll specifically be using that advantage for what I'm working with right now. So specifically helping me very carefully fix the artificial sensors, because they're helping me not only fix it but also document what we're doing, so that way, and helping security teams follow along so they don't get lost.
Okay, we'll make it difficulty 0 then. That'll be your use for it. I wish they would have more information about these.
I always read it as like it's an advantage that you can kind of, the GM can also read into as well. It's like, if it doesn't make sense for my engineering team to be at all helping me, it's like, you're by yourself and comms are down. It's like, well, you don't benefit from that advantage right now because you can't talk to anybody. But
yeah, but if you're lifting plating, you're gonna have people there with you, so it would make sense to use it.
Oh yeah, in this case it does. Yeah, I'm just saying in other cases, that was just one example of, here's one where it, like in the other mission where we lost comms, that advantage makes less sense. I assume no assist from the ship.
No. But you guys bank 2 momentum anyway.
Cool.
Which I think would be good for later.
Yay!
So I want to spend that before the doctor does. No.
So yeah.
All of a sudden, Tyr just gets gassed with something. What is it? It's Andorian shingles mixed with the Vulcan flu. How did that happen? I don't know. The doctor has a penchant for viruses.
But yeah, that's me.
All right, so yeah, cool. So yeah, your team has no trouble pulling up the damaged deck plates, replicating what you need, because you know the replicators are pretty advanced on a starship, or at least your updated ones. And yeah, you're able to probably within an hour or two, get most of the artificial gravity plates replaced. Now it just comes to the issue of powering them on.
I'm going to see if I can get the EPS systems operational in this area again.
Okay, this is going to be Control Engineering Difficulty 3.
Focus in EPS systems.
That works for me.
Oops. I'll use my engineering team to try to start from where the fault has occurred and try to trace it back to see how far of a lost connection it is. Because I assume it's not just a clean cut where we are. It might be like we might have like overloaded something further down the line.
Okay. So I guess that makes it difficulty 2 then.
And with difficulty 2.
You can always buy a dice if you have to, for safety.
Yeah. I was debating whether to use determination or not, but now I'll just use 1 momentum. Don't want to overkill it. So yeah, I'll use 1 momentum to buy a die.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, you get 2 momentum out of that, so you net 1. And yeah, so really what it was your team just rerouted the power flow from this sector away from this sector, and it was just a simple case of rerouting it back through the sector, and the artificial gravity kicks on.
Well, gentlemen, that's going to make life easier. Now, for the rest of the plating.
All right. I think this would probably be a good opportunity to head back to the sick bay.
Okay.
I would like to flag down the doctor if I can, if I'm
Yep.
still conscious.
Yep, so we are actually going to jump to the next scene, so you guys are down to 3 momentum. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the captain is conscious for this part.
Yeah, because I'm working on Prax next.
I'm just going to motion over for you to come to me.
Yes, Captain.
I'm going to look semi-intensely at you and like grab you by the back of the neck and tell you that there's no one I trust more to do this right now, and you need to take care of your side of the street. Now, on top of that, I would like to spend my determination and give it to him, as my task as a commanding officer allows me.
What? Nice. Yep. Cool. So that means yeah, okay.
I think I can still re-roll that to see if I get it back because I'm a veteran.
It's a determination spend, so...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I can have a total of 3. So right now I have 2. My original and the one okay.
Yeah. Prax, can you see my sheet? Because my computer died, so I'm on my phone, so it's going to be really difficult for me to roll an effect dice. Could you roll an effect dice for me?
Yeah.
Or I guess I could do a 1d20. But yeah, just go ahead and do that. I'll probably be rolling d20s from now on. Go ahead.
And you got it. Yep, you got it back.
I never get mine back. Damn it.
It happens maybe once every 5 or 6 times I actually get it back. It sounds way more powerful than it turns out to be.
Yeah, really.
That's so weird that they actually do call it determination spend, so it fits.
And I'd love that I got it back, but I can't imagine I'm gonna be able to use it, so it's kind of pointless that I did get it back.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing I was trying to look for. Like, is there limits on these? And apparently there. So you could potentially just keep doing that.
Yeah,
he
but
could.
Every time I do it, I think an effects dice is what, a 2 out of 6 chance.
Yep.
So every time I do it, the chance becomes infinitesimally smaller. So it's very unlikely you'd be able to abuse that more than and get the dice back more than 2 or 3 times. I couldn't imagine it happened more than 3 times.
You could get really lucky.
If you were super lucky, you could do some cool chains, but like at that point, you should get it because of how lucky you were.
And at that point, I'm saying we should be going to Vegas.
Right. You should have played the lottery, dude.
All in black.
23, make the pyramid. Sorry, that's a Game Grumps thing. Sorry. It was when they were doing Dead or Alive.
And I'll start my own casino with hookers and blackjack.
Yep.
And hookers. It's a good episode.
All right.
It's a good episode. Bender's awesome. Okay, so the captain just did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to do, Captain?
No, I mean after that, the moment of clarity passes, and I'm just gonna look glazed over again and lay back down.
Yeah, and at that point, I take the knockout hypo and just.
Okay. Right as that happens, from practice bio bed, you start hearing warning sirens start going off. from the medical instruments.
Son of a bitch. All right. And I start running over there and start looking before I start cutting into her. Because, yeah. Anyway, I'm basically going to start scanning her and doing all the things. Because I assume it's going to be an extended task, too.
Right. Not necessarily. So,
Okay. Well, I can scan first.
Yeah, here's the information you get from that. From the information from the monitors is telling you that.
Oh, damn it. All right. Then. Yeah. First, I'm going to stabilize Prax.
All right. This will be reason or control plus medicine, difficulty 2.
Okie dokie.
Can Reaver assist?
Yeah.
Gotta spend that crew support.
You know what? Yeah. Sure. Yep. Yes.
Xenobiology for a focus?
Mm,
Or emergency medicine?
Emergency
medicine. Yeah.
Cool.
Whew.
And you guys are able to give a few hypo sprays to stabilize the host and the symbiote. So they are out of danger for the moment.
Right. All right.
And then at this moment, you do notice that the maintenance team has reached sickbay and seems to be starting to do repairs to the entrance.
Yeah, I look at them and point out at the blasted screens, and I go there and there. And then I go back to the captain now that Prax is stabilized and start looking over his nerve damage and seeing what nerves I can reconnect back and restart. And basically, I'm gonna try and make him walk again, but the odds of that happening are slim even in the 24th century.
Okay. So this one is going to be another extended task.
Yep.
This surgery is going to be reason or control plus medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 3. Magnitude 3. Resistance 1. Work 10.
Okay, I'm going to spend a momentum for another dice. Can I use xenobiology? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, he's a Federation species.
Well, I mean, that and it doesn't really fit. I mean, this is working on nerves and critical stuff.
Yep, okay, that's fine. Well.
Use the determination.
Oh, hail Iron Jesus. Well, yeah, I could do that. Sentient, no, I don't have any that would work.
You have surgery as a focus?
I have trauma surgery. Which I thought would work, being as y'all have serious injuries, but I guess not. That's what I always thought trauma, but...
Well, because trauma is like you have multiple casualties and you have to get through them quickly as possible to save as many people. That's trauma. That is
triage.
It's the same thing. Trauma, triage,
okay.
Same thing.
Anyway, all right.
Well, you'll have to focus from... Use a determination to re-roll that.
Yeah,
you have a
that
value.
I'm going to do. Let's see. I'm doing a surgery on your nerves, and you may die, so no one dies on Tomar's watch. Would that work?
I don't think you need to spend it with a value to re-roll it. I think you just spend it.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Any determination spend, unless it specifically says you can ignore it, you have to link to a value. There's some stuff that says, hey, you can use this without anything. I like the COs give a determination thing. I think doesn't require a value specifically.
Yeah, no, I think that applies, but I think you could also re-roll the dice if you need to.
You can re-roll as many dice as you want with the determination.
Correct.
So you're probably gonna want to re-roll the other 0 too.
Yeah.
2.
Okay. You are finding it to be more difficult navigating the such severe burns and nerve tissue that you don't feel that you've made any headway this.
He also has the advantaged medical department.
Oh, and I also have cautious medicine.
As long as he's in sick bay.
Cautious medicine requires a spend of momentum.
I spent momentum.
Oh, you did. You did. Yep.
Yep. So I get 1 more dice.
Yep. Okay.
3.
Roll 7 challenge dice, please.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for letting me do that. I know I caught it too late. I appreciate that. But I think I got at least 1 breakthrough.
So you got 8 work, so you did get 1 breakthrough. Yep, so all this means is, since you guys are figuring all this out, I'm just going to have to up the difficulty from here on out.
No! I'm barely making it as it is!
No, I mean, just because the book allows you to do a lot, so...
Yeah.
Like, I thought these would be difficult, but there's so much you could do that I would have to up the difficulty to balance. I'm not going to do it today, but moving in the future, that is definitely going to happen.
That's cool by me.
Cool. I was trying to look at something. Hold on.
This isn't going to be a universal thing, right? Because all the talents and focuses I chose were 100% useless and only for story reasons. Please don't make this harder. I'm failing as it is.
Well, like, so your roles are mostly involving science, and you essentially get to ask like 9,000 questions for free.
Okay, yeah, you got me there.
And one of my focuses is like finance, just because it's part of my background. The one time it comes up, we're dealing with Ferengi, we'll be good. Until then, it's just another focus I'll have to replace sometime if I don't use it sometime soon.
I mean, I used my virology focus as a joke just a little bit ago, so... But if we end up on a planet with a plague, I'm your guy.
Yeah, so I was just looking at determination. There's really only 4 things that you have to match it with a value for, which is the perfect opportunity, moment of inspiration, surge of activity, and make it so.
Oh, well, there you go.
I am double checking that, however. I thought that's how it was. But you know how they have determination and spends in 9,000 different places in this book?
Just waiting for the second edition where it's all put in one place.
Yeah, I know. The layout of this book is god-awful.
Yep. Captain's gonna be walking in an exosuit soon enough.
Just call me Darth.
No, the way I see it, has anybody seen like gameplay for the Surge?
I haven't.
No. Oh, basically what they did was they take this guy who was in a wheelchair and like forcibly like drill in like hydraulics and stuff into his legs so he could walk.
You could always do the approach from the new Wolfensteins and give me some kind of like super suit
With chain guns? Add threat every
No.
time you walk on the bridge.
I mean, that would be cool, but no, I mean, like with the, it's just a suit that like covers your body, makes you able to like, makes you stronger and more damage resistant.
Yeah, sure thing, Blaskowitz.
I'm pretty sure they're able to repair nerve damage in this time because there was an episode where Dr. Pulaski replaced Worf's entire spine.
Yes, but
Yeah, but it
replacing
was
a
Pulaski, so it
spine
doesn't count.
plus it's a spine as, you know, compared to his almost entire nervous system. He's gonna need help walking regardless of whether I can repair those nerves or not.
Don't worry, Doctor. You can just fabricate them. It's fine.
Okay, regardless, I can look up that determination later. I think
like-
that's the right way we did it, because I think you don't have to match with the value.
A
He's
moment
at-
of
he's at
inspiration, a point of determination may be spent to reroll all characters' dice in their dice pool.
Yep, there you go. Then you do.
Yeah, it's
There you
under
go.
using values, so yes, you have to do.
Yep,
That's
there it
fine.
is. You had
Sentient
one, right?
life is precious.
Yeah, I think
Sentient
that's
life
one.
is precious. Help where you can, when you can.
Yep.
And
No,
no
and,
guys.
yeah, they all fit. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so right after you start to make your headway into the surgery, you got your 8 work. The power goes out in sickbay.
Really? Who could
Okay.
have predicted that?
That's fine. Reaver, take out your medical tricorder. Anybody have any emergency lights on them? I can continue the surgery. I just need a medical tricorder, and I need lights. While you work on the power. That was a question I asked to the room, to the people in sick bay right now.
Reaver hands you her tricorder and goes for another one.
Is Chief Book there?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and yeah, I just need Reaver to hold be the scanner, essentially, while I do all the surgery. That's why I asked her to take out her
okay.
tricorder and scan. Yeah. I need her to keep an eye on his vitals. If he drops, I need to know. Because I'm going to be repairing nerves with a light and a laser scalpel and such. So, yeah.
All right,
Chief,
so we got this set up.
if the chief has a light on them somewhere.
I don't think I don't know. Maybe I have a team with me, so
They
2
probably
teams now because the other chief sent theirs. So
Okay, then yeah, we're all set up. I just
Okay.
needed the light.
All right, so everyone pretty much is trying to shine flashlights on you.
Yep.
Okay. So this one is going to be the same reason or control, medicine difficulty 3. However, increase the complication range to 2.
That's fine. I'm using another momentum.
Okay, so you're down to 1.
Yep. I am going to re-roll that with another determination. Pick one.
Now, hold on. You have cautious medicine, right?
Oh, I do. Yes.
Do
I'm gonna
that
do that
first.
first.
Yeah, do that first.
Thank you for reminding me. I keep freaking out and forgetting. There we go.
Okay. So she couldn't assist because she's
Okay,
holding
then
a light.
forget that. No,
So,
she's
but
Reaver's holding the tricorder, monitoring the vitals and everything.
yeah,
Yeah, I assume
Okay.
it's one of those little
Yes.
floating lights.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but it wasn't an assist.
Okay,
Because
then
he
don't count
had
that.
to do that. But he still got 3. So, actually, the difficulty was 2 because of the breakthrough. So you guys still get the momentum back. Roll 7 challenge dice, please. Cool. So you complete work on the nerve damage and are starting to test the nerves, and they all seem to be functioning perfectly. And as best that you can tell, he is not going to have any permanent nerve damage. He's going to be sore for a few weeks. And you still have to deal with the burnt skin, but that's cosmetic at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest he walks with a cane for about a week.
But as far as you can tell, the surgery went off without a hitch.
Did they allow
All right.
canes in jail?
I mean, while he's on the Sarek, he will use a cane. And then I take 1.5 seconds to just let out a big deep breath, and then move to Prax.
Okay, so we're gonna actually go to Chief Kerr. What are you gonna do once the operation?
Which is looking worse, this possible plasma grade damage or the continuous power outages, which is more likely to cause the doctors more problems?
Power outage.
Cool. So I'm gonna do that. I brought all the equipment for that because that's what I intended to do. So
okay, roll me control and engineering difficulty 2. So difficulty 2 is just the number of successes you have to get.
I'm just checking to see if I had anything that applied. I don't. Cool. 2 successes.
Yep. So you notice that there are just some burnt out power relays that cause the lighting damage or the lights to go out. So you just quickly replace those and the lights in sickbay come back on.
I'm amazing. What can I say? First try. Cool. So now I would like to follow the other chief's lead in investigating this EPS grade damage.
Although
the hole in the bulkhead is going to be the least of my concerns, unless I see it's about to crush someone to death.
All right, I think we're actually going to head back down to Shuttle Bay. So it will be the end of the scene, so we'll move to scene 4. And this is going to be the acting captain investigating the accident.
Okay, so right when the gravity comes back on, Reggov kind of nods over at the engineering team and thanks, and pulls out his tricorder, and he starts scanning around the environment, while at the same time recording all evidence and having those with him taking evidence of all of the things related to the incident.
Okay.
Could I possibly assist with this because of my my documentation, or should I do a separate roll to see if I create an advantage?
So right now, he is just kind of scanning around, and really he just got a gauge of the amount of damage caused.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he hasn't actually started really to investigate. It's just the initial what damage was caused by scanning the shuttle bay and documenting where the damage is.
And he's applying his explosives expert knowledge into this while he's doing the scanning as well.
Okay, what exactly are you scanning?
Basically everything, I would say. Starting out with just the walls of the shuttle bay, and then moving inward.
Okay. So yeah, again, you're just kind of still taking readings of where all the major damage occurred.
Yep, just initially, and then he'll move in towards where the shuttle was.
Okay, perfect. Roll me reason and security difficulty 2. I will bank the threat for now. All right, so this is as you start to scan the shuttle, and start to review like some of the shuttle telemetry and logs and stuff. And like always, there's possibility of more information to be learned.
Okay, so he takes note of that, and so is that him scanning where the shuttle was?
Yeah, like the remains of the shuttle.
Okay. All right. Out of character, any suggestions? I can't think of what else to investigate because everything else was destroyed.
Well, look for transporter signals of any kind. Because he could have pulled a con and just teleported off the ship before the explosion.
Yeah, that would make sense because the Independence was nearby at that time.
Yep.
Also,
and the Romulan ship.
Also, what are you investigating? Are you investigating what I did, what he did? Because that also plays into what you should be scanning.
Initially, why the cargo did what they did, and then he's going to branch out from there. Not investigating why you made your actions, because he, I assume that he had access to the captain's log after he took command or whatnot. Saw it and reserve judgment for now until he gets word of how the surgery goes.
Okay, well then, this is
Definitely
what, if that's what you wanted to do, then I would check for transporter signals. I would also check the camera records from the med bay from when he woke up, or from when the Romulans attacked. Because you wouldn't have known when he woke up. But when the Romulans attacked, check the med bay records from there to, and then follow the guy from there to the shuttle bay.
You could also try to scan for any biological or genetic information left that was like plastered in the inside of the shuttle parts when he blew up. I'm assuming parts of the shuttle are laying around.
Yeah. So that'll fall into his explosives expert, I would assume, Ed.
So the first question I have is this role settled? Because then we could possibly move to the next possible one. Is there any questions you want to ask about scanning and going through the shuttle telemetry?
Yeah. He wants to scan more and look specifically for biomatter.
Right. Yeah. That's a different role. So yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no questions you want to ask about that information, we move on to the next one.
No questions.
Okay. You're going to try to search for any remains, I'm assuming. So this will be insight and security, or medicine and science if you have it. Difficulty 3.
Okay, and can he still apply explosive expert to it? Because he has a history of military warfare, and I think he'd be pretty familiar with body parts lying around the battlefield and how that will look on scanners.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good case for it.
Were you gonna? It was difficulty 3. Were you not gonna buy a dice or something?
Oh yeah, that's right. Do we have? Yeah, we have 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, I'll buy a dice. Sorry, guys.
Do you have cautious engineer or cost of security?
As like a talent or something?
Yeah.
No.
You can spend your determination to reroll both those zeros if you have a perfect value that would apply.
You could also apply your chief of security role, assuming unless he's considered CO for now. I don't know if his roles have been changed.
He probably fits both, but remember, you got to tell me the advantages before the roll.
Right. So like the spend determination under the value of wise in the ways of war, being that he's not going to screw up on the scan because he knows for a fact what biomatter really looks like after explosives have gone off, and not only that, but his focus as an explosive expert, he really knows his stuff after this amount of years in service.
Okay, I'll allow the determination spend to reroll. So 2 dice, please, because I'm assuming you want to keep the 2.
Yep.
And I keep forgetting to change the sound effects.
So then, can I go ahead and roll since he's a veteran to see if he keeps?
Yep. 1 challenge dice. And you will bank a momentum. Just push enter and try it again. And I believe that's a 0.
So that's the first time I think I spent determination on this character. So will I have to change that value to what?
No, you only change it if you challenge it.
Okay.
Or you only get the opportunity to change it if you challenge it.
If you use it negatively, if you used it positively, which you used it positive, you don't change it.
No, it's not if you use it negatively. It's if you challenge the value to get a determination. That's when you can
like the opposite of what the value represented.
Right.
Is what I was meaning.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, my just so everyone's aware, my character got the info.
It was the captain the whole time.
Kind of.
The captain was a fool. A damn fool.
Alright, and
Let's
with
not
that,
take this too far.
With that, Reggov heads over towards the med bay to check the logs.
You know you can check them from literally any panel on the ship, on the wall, right? You don't have to leave what you're doing unless you want to, like, make that an excuse to see how everybody's doing.
There's that, too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he wants to see how the captain's doing as well. I guess I could just use my comm badge, but nah. He'll just physically go up there.
Alright. We'll head to sickbay.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't meaning to tell you what to do. It's just, I figured if you were being efficient, it would have just been wall panel. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
And we'll enter sickbay.
Yay. I'm actually kind of excited. I've saved 2 people so far. Now the hard one.
So, Doctor, how are your patients doing?
Oh, there's no doors. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He was
Well-
just talking to the door.
Well, Michelson's fine over there. he'll live. He won't be nearly as pretty, but and then the captain should make a full recovery. He's probably gonna need a cane for a while, but he's doing pretty good. I was just about to operate on Prax. Our power went out, so surgery in the dark. That's always fun. Yeah. Kind of reminded me of this mission I went on one time where I had to use gunpowder and a poker. It was weird. Anyway, but yeah, I'm about to start on the commander. Is there anything I can do for you?
Well, I also came up here to access your medical logs of the prisoner. Can I log in to your computer over there?
Yeah, you might want to use my terminal. The panels are still out. My terminal's in my office, just over there.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem.
And he walks over to the office.
Okay. You are in the office.
Enters the office and he grabs his pad or whatever he has in there, computer. Goes in, starts checking the logs of the prisoner. Specifically the camera. To check that out. Maybe read some of the doctor's findings on the prisoner for more detailed information. Logs that in his report. Compares it against the bioscans that he got in his tricorder.
Also, after Reggov reminded me of the security footage, Chief Kier, do you mind checking my medical force field, please? I had some rather nasty Romulans in here try and take it apart.
Kira's going to look directly up at the hole in the bulkhead and say, I was wondering what happened down here. Figured maybe you threw a beaker or something. But sure, I'll take a look.
Thanks. Alright. And I guess while everybody's doing that, I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, Doctor. Stand by.
Will do.
All right, so I think we'll stick with Reggov for now. So is there anything specific you're looking for?
He liked to focus on that comparison between tricorder scan for the biomatter and what the doctor has in his records of the patient.
Anything specific you're looking for?
Probably the human part and also the part for like the cosmetic stuff. That was over the human, or I don't know exactly how that would work. However, it's put into the log.
If you're asking if it was the same DNA, the answer is yes.
Okay. All right, and from there he focuses on the cameras, just looking at the how what went down since he was en route to the med bay at the time while that was happening. So the character wouldn't know, but that's why he's checking those logs.
Right. So yeah, the footage just kind of shows him expertly taking out all the Romulans after they try to bust in the sick bay and disable the force field. Then, as you continue, it just kind of shows him running toward the shuttle bay, entering his shuttle and trying to start it up.
And Reggov takes copious notes of this, written in, official documentation format that could get presented at like a court, for example. And then from there, he heads back down to the cargo bay to scan some more, I suppose.
Just a out of character suggestion. Would it be possible for him to check to see to determine if the guy had Starfleet training or if he had different combat training? Just to identify if he was actually a Federation security trained rather than something else.
Well, I mean, you did just have 3. Did any of the Starfleet officers that saw either were in the room with him or saw him on video recognize any of the fighting styles he was using?
I mean, if anyone would, it would be Reggov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so here's that is typing.
Oh, listen to you.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, the character would know. Me, I need to up my knowledge in Star Trek.
I mean, I just assumed they learned Taekwondo and just the regular martial arts. And I assumed Spec Ops got some kind of like specialized martial arts training. Much like modern day.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, as Reggov was viewing the camera, did he notice anything? Because I thought that he'd have shot all of them, if I recall.
No, he actually, what happened was after I got everybody that wasn't on a med bed, because he was already in a force field. I got everybody else into a force field next to him. The Romulans disabled it. He woke up, disarmed one of them, and shot them all.
Yep, so the only thing that he did as far as martial would be the disarming, then he just freaking ninja shot everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. And then could have killed all of us, but just took off.
Arguably, some of the martial training would apply to his shooting as well, if it was like in a way that's normally trained by Federation officers how to handle a rifle, as opposed to specialized training or non-Federational training. Because there's ways some people might prefer to use a weapon, if that's something he could notice anyway. That's me reaching a bit, to be fair.
Yeah, so if Reggov did notice it, then he would include that in his investigative notes.
I mean, you could tell that he must have had training in weapon use and you know, close combat situations. I mean, everything tells me that he was an expert in weaponry. Their use, his aim. You know, he very professional in his work, so to speak.
You didn't just get a lucky shot off or something.
Right.
Holy crap, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, and you guys would technically still have the Romulan bodies. Also confirms that.
Oh yeah, I never moved them. I haven't had time. They're still there, so you might want to scan the bodies.
Watch your feet, everyone.
Yeah, they're around a back med bed.
Disappearing dead bodies.
No, they're all very much dead.
Right, but I mean, when you scanned them, you notice that the aim was impeccable, like at all the critical systems.
Okay, so yeah, Reggov goes over to the dead Romulans and checks them for any sensitive information or identifying stuff or anything like that on their bodies.
Yeah, no, they just look like normal Romulan soldiers, uniforms as such.
No, like things identifying which Romulan starship it was or anything like that.
No.
Damn.
Yeah, you're not that lucky. Romulans are smart.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right. With that, he hits his comm badge and what's the name of the? Do we have a name person for the teleporter?
No, I don't think we do.
Are you teleporting the bodies out?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say because Myr would have told you could put him in stasis and you could keep him as evidence.
Well, I assume the doctor stored them for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can just stay in the med bay inside of storage for now.
Yep.
Or wherever.
His morgue chambers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, he hits his comm badge to contact the teleporter chief Manson to meet him down in the shuttle bay to check for signatures of teleportation devices or to check the logs to see if there's any distinctive signatures of anyone teleporting off the ship at the moment, before, during, or after, well, probably before and during the explosion of the shuttle, or any time before that, leading up probably about 6 hours.
So you're asking if there was any evidence of teleporter use?
Or any type of thereof.
Minus the Romulans, there hasn't.
Yeah. Okay, so so I'm down in there, and that person's like negative, lieutenant commander, etc. I assume.
Yep.
Okay, and with that, head back to my chambers, since the captain is still breathing, and I start writing up my report.
Okay. So as that's going on, so we got the two chiefs in their respective positions, right? Trying to work on stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm working on the med bay force field right now.
Cool. So here's what's going to happen. Let me get to the right point. Okay, here's that. I just have to rearrange some stuff. Hold on. Okay, cool. All right, so as you guys work on this, here's what's going to happen. Chief Kerr, as you're working on the power supply, you hear an explosion go off very close to you. A sound that you could only assume was the EPS conduits near heading into sickbay. And it's also proven that the entire sector's power has just gone out, including the sickbay computers. At the same time that's happening, Chief Altera, you are still in the shuttle bay.
Correct.
You also feel the explosion that happened in sickbay, or that obviously there was an explosion somewhere aboard the ship. You did feel a little shock. However, the force fields controlling the hull breaches from keeping the atmospheric escape just went offline. In addition, through your earpiece connected to sickbay, you also hear sickbay scrambling as a possible warp core containment breach is in progress.
Fuck, we're gonna die.
And
come on, Ed. You said one character, not all of us. I will sacrifice one of us, just not all of us, please.
The needs of the many versus the needs of the few.
I have a laser scalpel. I can do it.
Kill one.
I have a question for the GM.
Sure.
Are we being have we been vented into space, or do we have time to run away? Because me and my team are in that room.
You might just have time to get out. Like, there's still atmosphere, but it is rapidly.
First thing is I order everyone out of that room. Because I assume security's still there too. It's like, oh, force field's gone. Get out, get out, get out.
Who drew? Oh, the captain did. Cool. Yeah, no worries there. Good, prudent action. Good, prudent course of action.
All right, Reggov hits his combat. Chiefs, report.
Yeah, stuff is breaking. That's not unusual. Better question, what was that explosion?
That's what I'm asking, Chief. Can you
Chief
find
to
out what's
acting
going
captain,
on?
we have a possible warp containment breach. Heading to engineering now.
Roger that. And Reggov heads to the bridge.
I'm going to tell the engineers that are waiting, and the few people who are sitting outside Shuttle Bay, I'm going to tell them to work on getting the force fields back up in there, and I'm just going to run to the engineering.
Okay.
And then message ahead that I'm coming, start working on, start getting ready to figure out to stabilize the warp core.
I want to try and trace the source of that explosion to see if that was, I mean, it's most likely not someone interfering or sabotaging, but if that would be preferable to one of our systems exploding. So I'm going to look for the source.
Okay.
And I am deputizing two of the engineering team to go outside and look for casualties. Go outside in the hall.
So no casualties.
Okay.
Luckily. However, so I think we'll start with the chief or Chief Kerr. I keep forgetting there's two of them. So you want to find the cause of the power or cause of the explosion.
Yes.
All right. Roll me reason engineering, difficulty 1.
Okay. Oops, my bad. That was challenge dice. Just kidding. 1 success.
Cool. You meet it.
Always doing the bare minimum. That's where I excel.
You are perfectly mediocre.
All right. Where's my notes on all this? They got lost because I didn't highlight them. I didn't know. That's not it. What the hell did I do with them? Come on, notes. Work with me here. Okay, I guess I just got to make it up because I can't find it at the moment. So you do notice that the EPS conduits near sickbay did explode. You estimate that they exploded because of the ship's antiquated systems haven't been fully updated yet, and the extra power combined with the damage to the surrounding systems caused an overload to the APS system there and caused it to overload and explode.
Okay. Can I fix it right in this moment so that it causes no further damage while we fix the ship as a whole?
Yes.
Also, I have an out of character question. Where's the line between what me as the player heard and what Kier also heard? Because there was some chief information being dispersed. I'm not sure if both me and Altair heard it, or if it was just Altair.
I think in that situation, since he called down chiefs, I think you both were kind of in a conference call. So
Cool.
Whatever he said, you heard.
Great. Fantastic. But yes, fixing this one outage right this second.
Okay. That one. This is where's my notes? This one's going to be control engineering, difficulty 3.
Oh no.
Might I recommend someone take up one of the engineers I sent there to assist?
Yeah, I'll take one.
I would, but I know I have to go. I have to not blow up the ship. I have to be an engineer.
In other places.
Either of these have EPS? Let's see. Power systems, does that count?
Yes, I will allow power system.
Okay, so that's
Great.
Adriana Leva.
All right, so this would be your second crew support used in the mission.
Cool. Make sure she gets at least 2 successes. Because I did not.
Is she rolling 2 dice or?
Just 1 for the assist.
We're going to die.
Hey, you
Cool.
can pick a better place to get hurt.
So, so you notice that the damage to the APS conduits are more extensive than you thought, and you don't see a way to repair it quickly enough. This is going to be an extensive fix.
Okay. While I'm working on that, I want to page the other chief. Tyr.
Chief Tyr, go ahead.
Chief, I'm pretty sure you're as about to scramble as I am, but please tell me we're not gonna have any warp issues, because this plasma grid is screwing us over left and right.
I got to contain a possible core breach at this point. I don't know the damage yet. I'm still en route to engineering.
Are we gonna have to shut down the entire grid to avoid an overload?
Cannot say at this time, Chief. Sorry. Wish I could tell you more.
Fingers crossed, Chief. Good luck.
You too, Chief.
Oh, fuck a doodle do. Okay. Cool. What else is broken?
All right, I think we'll jump. I think we'll jump to Chief Altera at the moment.
Sounds good.
Because I think this is the big one at the moment. So, Chief Altera, as you run into sickbay, you notice that the engineering team is trying to scramble to control the containment fields.
You mean engineering?
Did I not say that?
No, you said sickbay.
Okay, yeah, the engineering team. Sorry. You see them scrambling to try to control the containment fields between the matter and antimatter for the engines. And I don't think I need to tell you guys that if they come together, bad things happen.
How possible do I think it is saucer separation can occur while this is happening? Yeah, like, is our power system compromised enough that we can't do that?
I'm going to spend 4 threat to make it not enough time to separate.
Okay, fair enough. I'll look into see how hard it is. I assume it's an extended test because that's usually for warp core breach containment.
So it's not a breach. It's just...
Oh.
It's not a breach yet. They're just having trouble containing them.
Coolant leak.
Oh, I can breathe again.
So it's not there yet.
It's getting there.
But so the roll then would be either your control, daring, or reason, plus engineering. This will be difficulty 3, and a complication of 2. I will tell you right now, the complication will result in loss of containment, and we will move to the warp core breach proceeding.
Gotcha. Warp field dynamic. Oops, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say roll 4 dice, buy 3 threat or 2 threat and use the 1 momentum. It's difficulty 3, right? Or
correct.
So
it is difficulty 3.
That's all I'm just recommending.
Yeah. I'm not doing a flat roll yet. I'm doing some plotting here because I don't want that to fail. First thing I'm going to get down is focus, if I can get one. Would warp field dynamics apply in this case, or EPS systems apply?
Warp field dynamics, most definitely.
Okay. And if I'm going to buy dice, I'd rather not give you threat. No offense.
I love threat. Just give me more threat.
No.
I wrote in threat spends. I want to use them next.
I am looking to spend a determination toward my Spirit of Discovery talent from being human, The value I'm going to bring up is nothing beats Federation engineering. I'm going to try to, because I depend on these systems to work and for everything to not be unfamiliar to me and my team. Doing that would generate 3 momentum into the group.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so that determination's gone. Oh, I should try to see if I keep it. That's relevant.
Are you a veteran?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's gone. Well, I'm gonna use my engineering teams to help me make this less difficult. Try to help me contain this. So I'm not just doing this by myself.
All right.
Like all of us working together.
Tell me exactly how you're using.
Specifically, I'm gonna be the one that's doing the actual. Well, actually, better way to put it. Yeah, I'm going to have most of the engineering team monitoring through various panels throughout the engineering bay. And some helping me, and maybe one other one helping me with my kit, like handing me stuff and helping me work on, because I'm the one who's on point doing the actual physical repairs. But for their part, they're reporting to me in case something else breaks elsewhere in engineering. I can run over and start working on that.
Okay.
So
nothing with the difficulty or complication rate, but if something else comes up, that's where they'll be
cool.
used. So if it does go critical, I figure that's where the advantage would apply then.
Oh yeah, that makes, yeah, that's more, it's more of a backstop of, in case this goes south, I want you guys to be like ready to go. Oh, I'm buying dice, right. I am buying how many dice? That's a good question.
So as it stands, you could buy 2 dice with the momentum you have.
Right.
However, you have to, I would also keep in mind the complication range. So having some momentum there on hand might be useful as well.
You could use threat and a combination of some of the momentum to get the dice you want.
I know you guys don't want to give the GM threat.
Don't be afraid of giving threat to the GM.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you do. That's why I got.
At the risk of us all dying, give him the threat.
Difficulty's 3 right now. Complication 2. Focus.
Yeah, give him threat. I have a backup plan.
We have 2 of our 5 crew supports spent so far.
Correct.
Can I get someone to assist me with an engineer?
I can do so. You want me to pull up? I'm guessing Leva.
Who was Rhaegar went AFK? What I don't know which one he was using.
He was using Leva.
Yep. Adriano.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I have an assistant. I have a momentum. I have my focus. Just making sure I'm not missing anything I should use. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to get 1 die.
Okay.
And yep, that's what I'm gonna go with. All right, here we go.
So you're just you're rolling 3 dice.
Yes, with assist from One
Tib.
of the engineers.
Tib.
Okay.
Tib. I assume no help from the ship.
No.
It's kind of part of the problem. Well, hey.
Yeah, you gain 2 momentum from that. And with the sweat beating off of your brow, you are able to repair the fields, the containment fields between the matter and antimatter, and the alarms go quiet in engineering.
I would like to spend 1 momentum to obtain information. To see see if I might have discovered what caused that specifically.
Since this is a task to repair, not to obtain information. It would have to be a separate role.
Okay, that's cool. I'll actually. Oh, sorry. First, Master Chief Altair to Acting Captain.
Go ahead, Chief.
Containment under control. We're investigating what happened. What caused this?
Very well. Keep me informed.
Aye, sir. And with that, I'm going to I'm going to get my engineering team and I are going to work together to determine what caused that, to see if it's related to what caused the compromise.
Okay. Roll me. I think it'd be probably reason engineering. Let's call this difficulty. Let's call it difficulty 2.
Would my engineering team helping me bring it down at all?
Yeah, we could make it difficulty 1.
Okay. Teb, your assistance once again, please.
Sure thing, Chief.
Would it be, well, would this still be a warp field dynamics focus, or possibly a computers check to investigate like the logs?
Warp field is fine.
Apply?
Warp field's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to spend too much time in this task. It's kind of irrelevant to what's going on.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, just the overall power drain from all the damaged systems and the additional power needed is causing more strain on the power systems than is normal, and that's what caused the breach.
Yeah, I'll report. I'll type since it isn't a like an urgent. Oh wait, in that case, I'll begin work on trying to repair that overload, or trying to see if I can fix that. Although I think I would have heard in my earpiece that someone else just tried that. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same problem that Chief Book ran into. Yeah.
Very much so, yes.
Okay. Yeah, Chief to Acting Captain, the possible breach occurred due to a possible power overload in the ship's EPS systems. I'm going to be working with Chief Book to see about stabilizing that so that doesn't happen again.
All right, good job, Chief. Keep up the good work, and let me know the results of that. I'll be in the med bay. And with that, Reggov gets up from the captain's chair and heads down to the medical bay.
Okay, I think this is actually a perfect opportunity to jump scene to scene 5. All right, Doctor, I'm going to send you one last thing. As all that stuff was happening, this is what's going on currently.
Okay.
And more specifically with cracks. Now, keep in mind, sickbay is without power at the moment.
Okay. Trying to think. You know, as soon is Reggov has Reggov made it yet? Probably not.
Probably once you got that information, he probably strolls in with Chief Kerr. Are probably all in the medical bay at the moment.
All right. I am going to look at Reggov and look at Prax, shake my head, and then tell him that I need either an emergency transport into that cryopod or 4 people to pick her up and carry her there. Not because she's heavy, but carefully. To carry her to that cryopod and put her in stasis.
So, Doc, what we talked about last week is this would be the perfect opportunity to start that.
Yeah, I'm going to start that, but I'm also I have 47 days to at least start working on it. Because that look was, if we don't get her to Trill, something's going to happen.
So perhaps you didn't read that properly.
Probably not.
So here's what I'm setting up. The Prax symbiote is starting to deteriorate, and it's getting to a critical mess that either you have to remove the symbiote soon, as in a few minutes, or you have to try the radical treatment you were talking about.
Okay.
So this would be using the scientific method on page 157.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. We'll do that then. I will totally jaffa her. Let's do this.
So that's what I was trying to set up.
Yeah. Yep. Let's do this.
I'm losing the symbiote.
Well,
the body's losing you, more or less.
The symbiote's losing you. So okay. Sorry, I don't have the book. I apologize.
Yeah. So the first thing we have to figure out is what discipline this is going to cover. So this is either going to be a science task or probably a medicine task.
It'd be medicine, I think.
Okay. So what that means is whatever discipline you choose, anyone that has at least a 2 in that discipline could assist you in this.
Okay.
So if you're the only person with a good medicine, it's pretty much would just be you trying to score the number of successes.
I think Reaver's
got a 4 medicine.
Yeah, Reaver could help.
Right. But I think Chief Kerr might have a pretty good science as well.
Yeah. I do have a great science, and I also have a focus in emergency medicine.
So that would technically be another assist. And so how these work is, so once you determine what discipline you're going to use, we're going to enter the hypothesis phase. Yes. And in that, you're going to pick 3 to 5 ideas of possibilities to research. And during that, you're either going to pick one that I think is what's going on here, and that would be called the right way. I don't tell you what the right way is. I'll just say you have one. If you don't, I will take a threat and you'll go back to the drawing board. Okay. But once the right way is determined, we'll go to the testing phase. And in this phase, I'm going to assign a number of difficulties. Again, I do not tell you how many, but the difficulty is how many successes you need to actually get this to work right. I don't tell you what that number is, and I don't tell you if you're working in the, so whatever hypothesis you have. So let's say you have the 3 hypotheses. You're going to start doing work on one of those 3. And you're going to get a number of successes. I don't tell you if you're working on the right one, and I don't tell you how many you got.
Okay.
Even though you should be able to tell from your dice rolls.
Yeah.
So generally you'll get the opportunity to stay in that one, or you could switch to a different one in hopes that that's the correct one.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be timed.
Of course it is. Okay. So my first thought is I have to replicate the neurological components, like essentially the neural link between.
Right. So before we do that, let's just get the discipline. Do you want to stick to medicine? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, and then
my highest.
And then with the hypothesis, anybody can give them out. It's not limited to who's here.
Yeah.
So anyone can put in hypothesis, and it's going to be up to the doctor that you use. But anybody can throw out the hypothesis.
Yeah.
So hypothesis of, I mean, what are we trying to figure out exactly?
Basically, think Teal'c in the later seasons of Stargate.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm basically, what I want to do is try and create a retrovirus that mimics having a symbiont, so that I can remove Prax, the symbiont, and freeze it, and we can still have our commander, kind of thing, So
cool. And you've explained this to us in full.
I'm probably like rambling as I'm going through all this, but I'm trying. I'm going to want to recreate the neural pathway link, or replicate the chemical link between the symbiont and the brain of the host. There's a couple of I have to boost the immune system.
So the goal is to preserve the symbiont and the patient separately. Like, so that way, because normally when you remove a symbiont, the patient dies, right?
Right.
Within hours.
Within hours, yes.
So so you're trying to preserve both. Remove the symbiont, but keep the captain alive.
The commander, yes.
Commander, sorry, yeah.
Already promoted a dead individual.
I mean, he might be captain soon enough. Who knows?
So, one of the hypotheses for me would be, can I replicate the biochemical, or I want to try and replicate the biomechanical workings of a joining. That's kind of my hypothesis is, can I do it, kind of thing, or I think I'm doing this right. So
you can have that as one of your hypotheses. The only thing I can tell you is out of the 3 or to 5 you're going to give me, if one of them is right.
Okay.
So line up the different solutions you might have for the problem.
Well, the other solution is to take out the symbiont, freeze Prax, work on the symbiont, and put it back. But that could cause death.
But
putting them in stasis together isn't an option?
No, it is an option. It is 100% an option.
But I'm not going to make it an option because I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that now. Yeah. I'm not going to waste the month it's going to take you to get there.
Thus God has spoken.
Yeah, 42 days to Trill.
The only... Yeah. Since we can't make it to Trillius in time, I mean, I could join Prax. I could mend the symbiont and Reaver, I'm about to ask you a really personal question. Are you joined?
No.
Well,
Doctor, I've never been through the initiative program. I'm not worthy of the symbiote.
I wasn't either. I was in the same situation. It can be done, and I can help you through it if it comes to that, but that's...
Let's table that for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll call that Plan E.
Suggestion: you might want to look up in the medical log specifically about this situation. See, because even though you're not at Trill, we should still have access to the Federation main database. And you might be able to get some case law from there that'll help guide you on your what you're trying to do.
Actually, no. Myr would have access to the actual commission, so they could. He could theoretically ask, but it could take time that we don't have.
Well, also, don't we have...
Just adding that as a...
Yeah, that's an option.
Don't we have a holographic doctor on board as well, and would it
No.
have that knowledge?
No, our EMH is disabled.
We don't have an EMH.
Even better.
It's a talent that you have to take for the starship to have the EMH.
Gotta do one.
Cool.
The Kismet has one, but you don't.
So one hypothesis is to create a artificial symbiote to act as the regulator for the biological functions that it would normally do.
Yes.
I think you were wanting to do like the whole Jaffa thing where it's injections or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, and the only other
Didn't
problem
you also...
would be...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm remembering things about Trill now that are making me second guess myself because of their immune systems.
Cool. Didn't you also propose kind of tricking the commander's systems into believing it's still joined?
Yes, but
just until we get them.
Yes, but here's the problem with that. Her body will be fine. The symbiont, on the other hand, not so much.
I think the easiest solution would be just to freeze them both if they're going to remain stable while frozen.
I think that's part of the problem mentioned earlier, that we can't freeze them both and expect them to survive the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we're under the gun right now.
If I have to be honest, I would say if we have to take the risk and maybe the symbiont dying, the commander is not more valuable to us, but more immediately helpful.
That's actually against Trill policy. The symbiote is priority over the host.
Not an option. And Prax would punch you in the face.
Yeah, I would.
No, and Myr flat out will... No, Myr will tell you. Prax will punch you in the face.
Yeah, alright.
But let's see. Basically, all I can think of is recreating the biochemical things. I could also, maybe with the help of the engineer, do a biotech kind of thing. That, rig a biotech thing for both the symbiote and Prax and keep them both alive, which would be preferable.
I'll note that because
it's a talking alive but separate?
Yeah, pretty much. Like build a Trill pool on the ship and find a way to get the proper chemicals in it to keep it thinking it's still joined to Prax, and vice versa. We're basically trying to trick two brains here.
But here's where I need a little bit of clarity. From what I understand, we're not choosing to save one or the other. We're saying that one is in danger of dying right now, and we don't really have the tools we need to save that one, and the other is not, or could possibly not be. We have the tools to save one, but not the other.
At the moment, yes. That's just
Because
exactly.
it's not a matter of priority so much as a lack of resources.
What are you driving at?
I'm just looking for clarity purposes. It's hard to kind of hypothesize if I'm not on the right page.
Okay, so sorry. Let me explain. As far as the Trill on board go, myself and Prax and Reaver, even though Reaver's not joined, they will tell you that if it comes down to the host or the symbiont, take the host out, or take the symbiont out, put it in a new Trill, the host dies. Plain and simple.
Yeah, but it's not host or symbiont. It's we can't save the symbiont right now. It's not an either or thing yet. So we might be hypothesizing for the wrong problem, giving solutions that may not necessarily be for the problem at hand.
Basically, no, what we're doing is the symbiont right now is sucking the life out of Prax. If I don't fix the symbiont, they both die. And the thing is taking out the symbiont is very risky. And what I need is something to lengthen the time in which I can keep the symbiont out so that I can perform the proper surgery on it.
Okay, what about recreating the caves of Makala, which is where the pool, where all the symbiotes are sort of born at, and that might able to keep the symbiote alive and help maybe regenerate possibly if you can remake the conditions properly.
That's what I was thinking. Like build a like a fish tank for it with all the stuff it needs. Prax is old enough to understand that it may not be a pool, but at least it's better than nothing.
But weren't your other hypotheses centered around like not only keeping the Trill itself, the symbiote alive, but also keeping the patient alive as well? Because am I wrong there?
Okay. So, I guess so we have at least one hypothesis right so far, so that I can do this surgery. Okay. My second one is the biotech option, in which case I can at least put the symbiont in there, and I will have a few hours, and I can freeze Prax in the process for now, and work on it. Which I don't think has been done, putting a host in stasis without its symbiont, but I can try it. So that's another one. Because right now it's the symbiont that needs surgery, not Prax. It's all internal so far, that I could tell. So that's another one.
Hey, GM question.
Sure.
With my current thought process in mind, can I also take a look at Praxis chart or anything like that to see what other information jumps out at me?
I mean, yeah. I mean, all the medical stuff is there, and you are an accomplished scientist, so you would probably know just as much as the doctor does about what's going on.
Definitely would love to do that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. Oh wait, no. In this case, we can't. But go ahead.
Should I roll for that?
So really, it's like if there's information you guys, if I am able to tell you, I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some information in the main Discord that seems to be the commonly known information.
And I probably did misrepresent something here.
No, that was what you sent me almost.
I know, but I think I might have misrepresented. I made the adjustment. Almost. Because this is what's going on, and I think I worded it weird. All right, I think that clarifies that.
So the host body is dying while the symbiote is sapping the life out of the host, making it difficult for the host body to recover.
Yeah, that's what it should have said. Sorry.
Okay.
Me trying to type all this up late at night is not fun. So that should clarify that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to have to deal with them as two separate entities.
Yes.
Here's one hypothesis. Okay, so is the host body actually damaged?
I mean, it has damage as in terms of the damage from the explosion, burns and possible internal injuries that may have been stabilized in the few days.
But the actual problem is with the symbiote.
So the actual problem is that the symbiote is starting to go to emergency life-saving measures. And when it does that, it starts to sap the host in order to
Can
survive.
we give the symbiote a false host? Opposed to, like the way we were talking about trying to trick Praxis, the commander into believing they were still joined. Could we do the same, but only on the symbiote's end? Well, or in addition to?
That would be my hypothesis for that. You can't answer that. But the easiest solution would be to transfer the symbiote itself into Reaver. Is 36-hour time period that before the joining becomes permanent with Reaver, and hopefully the symbiote stabilizes and then can be rejoined back in with Azrael.
Prax, after she's more strengthened enough to carry it.
Yeah, but it has to be done quick, or she will die.
Not gonna lie, from Kira's point of view, that seems like the crueler of the options. Just on behalf of Reaver. That's really mean. Like join in, then unjoin. But cool.
No, you are actually doing very good, Chief Kerr.
Thank you. Have we 100% identified what is wrong with the symbiote and how to fix it?
I think that's the hypothesis.
Do we have the means to fix it on its own? Like, back to what you guys were saying about prioritizing one or the other. Is prioritizing the symbiote even an option because we 100% have the means to do that?
Okay, so a question would be, did I get enough scans to say I could viably fix the symbiont?
So there's
killing both of them.
There's not really anything wrong with the symbiont. The problem is the host is starting to
got it.
Life.
Okay.
And the symbiote is starting to enter life-saving measures by sapping more energy from the host to try to conserve energy.
I understand now. I got it. Basically, what it is
to save the symbiote is to save the host?
The only way to save the symbiote is to take it out.
Why can't you use some combination of chemicals or technology to convince the symbiote that it's fine? Or to force it into, like, to eliminate or stop sapping Azrael?
Because the fact that it's sapping Azrael, the fact that it's turning on Azrael is due to the fact that her body has sustained enough damage to where it's dying. and it knows it.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be able to use drugs or other tech? That's the question. Could you use drugs to trick it? Like the same way where you have pain.
Not while it's in prax. No.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like we could still include that as a hypothesis. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
as a hypothesis, the thing would be trying to save prax while keeping the symbiote inside and not panicking. I guess would be another one. Because basically what I want to do, what they're asking me to do is stop the prax symbiote from panicking and killing Azrael.
And that's about
Can
it.
you sedate the symbiote?
No. I don't know. You can't.
Because it's
like
connected
not sedate in that means, but like something that would be similar to sedating a humanoid to the symbiote. Just take it out of power saving mode for a while until we can, because the symbiote is not at all at risk here at the moment. Well, it's not the one at most risk.
I mean, this is a role-playing, and this is out of character, by the way. This is a role-playing game, and anything's possible, but I've never heard of an instance of it in Star Trek, so...
Yeah, because we're making the instance. We're paving the way.
I'm in the dark. All I know is...
boldly go where we've never gone before. Let's do it. How short is short? Are we talking 2 hours or 2 days?
Hours.
Yeah. If we do the substitute joining, it ups it to at least a day. Yeah.
Could put it on the hypothesis table as one of the, is that a way out of this sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that one will be our, what, third, I think?
That sounds like third, yeah.
Yep.
So, does someone real quick want to go through and like clearly state each one? Like say this is hypothesis 1, and then this is so, because I think I'm not on the same page as how many hypotheses we have.
Okay, one is tricking its body with like a retrovirus kind of thing, and then stabilizing prax. They all end with stabilizing Azrael at the end of these, so they all kind of sound the same. The second is removing the symbiont and placing it into a tank made to replicate the pools, and then operating and stabilizing Azrael. And the third is just to remove it outright and assume it's okay and operate on Azrael and then replace it. Is the third.
And I think that's everything we've discussed so far that you're cool with going with as a hypothesis, at least.
Yeah.
You can go all the way up to 5, but it makes it kind of more difficult to know which of the ones you chose is true.
Yeah, so I'll stick with the 3 I have, Ed.
Okay, I just need them explained in detail because I do have an instance that I'm going to be sticking with, and I just want to make sure if any of them meets it exactly how you guys think about it.
Before we do that, just one more question for the group. Is there a way we could possibly we've talked about tricking the symbiote and Azrael into thinking they're still joined. is there a way we can trick the symbiote into believing that its only means of survival is keeping Azrael alive? So we'll maybe stop turning on her.
Yeah. Like they're intelligent and everything, and they're symbionts until we start to die, and then they're just like, hurry up and finish. They just don't want to prolong their existence. If they're gonna die, they're gonna die. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, Triller kind of morbid that way. Okay, so the first one is using a genetic sample from Azrael Prax, with the chemicals still flowing through with the symbiont, and creating a kind of like a retrovirus thing, or replicating it, and then using that to try and simulate them still being joined so that I can do the surgery. Another one is...
So in the first one, what would it mean exactly? Would you be removing them? Would you be keeping together?
Yeah, I would be removing the symbiont. It's basically a stopgap so that I know that Azrael will still be okay for if I need a longer period of time.
Okay, so that's the one where you want to remove them permanently.
Yeah, that's basically me wanting to replace it.
Okay.
The second one is basically replicating or taking out the symbiont and then running it to a holodeck in a pool, in a Trill pool program or whatever that me or Prax may have had, and putting it in there so it can regenerate while I work on Prax. And the other one is literally just removing it, setting it on a towel, and then working on Prax.
It'll be a stasis chamber you can put it in on the medical bay.
I was doing it in nondescript terms, but yeah, essentially.
Okay, are those your 3 hypotheses?
Yep.
All right, I will bank a threat, and you guys can go back to the drawing board.
None of those are the correct answer.
Damn it.
Out there a lot.
Someone wants captain.
Okay.
So, is the actual captain conscious during all this?
I mean, he's recovering. But, okay, so with Prax, right now I'm gonna put the joining on the table right now as a hypothesis kind of thing. Would that work? Also, if not a permanent joining, I think we can do the second one as the substitute joining, because that involves Prax getting the symbiote back, or Azrael getting the symbiote back.
What about taking it out and then freezing the symbiote? I know we mentioned it early on, but it kind of disappeared into afterthought.
Doesn't that fall into the stasis hypothesis from last time? Like the same idea?
No.
Yeah, excuse me.
Bless you.
Unless I did a combination of the placing the symbiont in stasis and then using the biochemical thing, but that's...
Did we included the hot swap, didn't we? Like a swap between hosts, but no permanent swap.
Not yet. We kind of tabled it. That's why I was bringing it up now.
Yeah, we can put that definitely as in one of the next 3.
And one of them and one of them is a permanent joining.
Yeah, we could do the permanent joining. I think the permanent joining is going to cost Asriel the character's life, though.
It will.
Yeah. But we've already exhausted options A, B, C, and D. Or at least A, B, and C, and there's already a D, so I guess we're to E now.
Yep, which is permanent joining to Reaver. And
now we just need F.
Yep.
Take the symbiote out, let it die.
Then Prax dies.
Well, yeah, I don't, because the doctor has to suggest that. I don't think that's a possibility. I mean, if it was another character's choice, but since it's the doctor's choice, I think there's no person who's less inclined to make that decision than Dr. Myr.
It would also kind of fall under a Prime Directive violation because you'd be trying to pull away Trill.
You're basically
practices.
Yeah, stomping on Trill rights. But those two I know for sure.
Third one
is I don't have a third one. My third one is put them in the stasis for the foreseeable future. But
I think we were told that was a definite no ahead of time.
No, we said we couldn't go to Trillius. We never said we couldn't just slam her in the cooler for a while.
We'd have to get her out, I guess, and eventually come back to this exact point and figure it out anyways.
Yeah, but I'll have time to think, damn it.
What about creating an artificial symbiote and stick it in Asriel, and then just do a permanent joining with Reaver?
Yeah, I could do that. That could be. There's Plan F. Creating a replicant symbiont for Asriel. She can go back to her original name because she doesn't have a symbiote anymore, and then I can join Reaver and Prax.
Can we combine that with F? Because even if one of those fails, technically the other would still. They're independent things. Like if you can succeed with Reaver and the symbiote and fail with Prax, or succeed with Prax and fail with the symbiote and Reaver. So I think those don't need to be separated into two different hypotheses.
Okay. Well, then we're back down to 2. Now we're back down to 2 then.
Well, I was trying to give you a way to save both of them and still do the permanent join.
Or even the hot swap.
The permanent join
hot swap is number 1. So we've got the hot swap and we've got the permanent swap.
Okay, so.
Or we can call it the permanent swap and fake out.
Yeah. Too bad it has to be 3 and can't be just the 2.
What about, as a third one, this is an outlandish one, but what about inducing a comatose-like state in both symbiote and host? So that way the metabolism of everything slows way down. So that way it makes it easier for you to work on the surgery. That
actually is a good one. There's the third one. So one of them is permanently joining Prax to Reaver. The other one is essentially the same thing. No, I guess that was the one we were talking about being the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's the hot swap where you're gonna use the 36-hour window inside of Reaver to fix Prax. Then the second one would be
the switch. Yeah, the second one would be the.
Okay. So I think you guys are kind of moving away. Removing the symbiote is a medical procedure.
Yeah.
So you guys can just do that whenever the hell you want. So that's not really. You don't need to suggest that because you have that option, regardless.
Okay, so
the scientific method thing is you're trying to save both the Prax host and the Prax symbiote.
Yes.
So, how's the best way to go about doing that? Is what you guys need to think. Because you could remove the symbiote at any time and you can do that. The problem is the host is probably going to end up dead because of it.
So the option
That's why go for it.
I was just going to say, so the permanent swap is off the table because that's something we can do anyway.
Correct. Yeah, so that there's no need to hypothesize that sign.
Okay, so then just the building of the maybe having a fake symbiont would be one. Okay. Because that's not something you do every day.
I think we should revisit the putting our efforts towards Azrael. I know that kind of rubs the Trill medical team members the wrong way.
Keep in mind, the doctor's the one that's going to pull the trigger on it, and the doctor is...
Right, but anybody can suggest hypothesis. So if she has one, by all means, let her say it. And then obviously it falls to the doctor, but for all you guys know, she could be on to something.
No, I understand. I'm listening.
Cool.
Sorry.
So, yeah. No, go for it.
No, I thought we already discussed it. That's why I brought it up again. I didn't mean to bulldoze you.
We did, but we kind of immediately took that way off the table. Like, it wasn't even like in our list of things we may turn into a hypothesis.
Oh, yeah.
But from the way I'm seeing it, that seems to be maybe possibly closer to a solution if the symbiote isn't in immediate danger, and Azrael is. And it's not prioritizing the host over the symbiote because it's not that they're both in danger and we need to save one. Who do we choose? That's kind of not, from my interpretation of what Ed proposed to us as the issue, that wouldn't be an accurate description of it.
That's your third hypothesis. We were down to 2.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with those. I can't think of any more.
Okay, so what's the new thought process here?
The prosthetic symbiont, the what was it? What was it you were suggesting, Altera?
Inducing a comatose state in both host and patient.
Yeah, inducing them both into a coma, and then books suggestion, which my inner Trill will just not let me say.
So what's your suggestion, Book?
The suggestion is prioritizing saving Azrael to kind of remove the symbiote from this kind of life or death, have to save myself mentality. If we can preserve its host and bring it back to a healthy state, perhaps the symbiote will not continue to kill it.
All right, so then the question would then be, how would you propose going about doing that?
I would love to collaborate with the doctor on it, but the doctor doesn't want to talk about this one.
No, what was your idea? I will, out of character now, I will talk about it. I honestly just didn't remember what you said, so I was using an excuse.
Okay, initially what I mentioned was like the symbiote wasn't in danger, so to not concern ourselves as much with it and kind of table it while we focus on saving just Azrael and reestablish the pairing if we have to. Well, I mean, obviously we'll have to, but after the fact, because we need Azrael right now. The symbiote, even without its host, will still be on ice for at least a month and a half.
That goes into hypothesis 1 away. I mean, to clarify for like number 3 would be to just leave them joined and then do an exploratory surgery and try to fix the internal damage that's causing the deterioration of the host.
Yes. Also, to add to that, maybe can we go back to maybe thinking about how to calm the symbiote so that it will allow us to do the surgeries without killing its host? Like before, the first time I mentioned it.
Suggestion? Oh,
yeah, the first time I mentioned it, I said something about sedating, which wasn't the word I was looking for. Don't really have a great one for it, but just convincing the symbiote that it's better off with this host and in better care with this host so that it will allow us to complete the surgeries.
That could be, I mean, that could be similar to just tricking it into thinking that the host is fine.
And while that could be used as an hypothesis, and actually I think I know how to do it, but the captain's not gonna like it.
I mean, I don't even know
the captain or the commander.
The captain.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that you're capable of suggesting anything to me unless I'm awake. This is all out of character stuff.
I know.
How long...
I know. I plan on waking you up.
You could.
Well, I mean, we do have an acting captain.
No, I need Sarek.
You can do it. You can wake me up, but I can't guarantee you're gonna love anything I have to say.
I mean, like I said, it's a hypothesis, and that's a reasoning and how I would possibly do it. If we did that.
I don't know. You can. I mean, you can go ahead and suggest it since we don't have to be present. And I don't want to drift into metagaming here, but I think you can kind of ask what Sarek would do without I don't know how to approach that. I don't know if you have to wake me up or if you can just ask me here. Because we've kind of been talking about what Myr would do without actually playing in character, so I'd have to go to Edge for that one. But if you want to wake me.
So the whole thing of how this is written is that it is 100% the lead researcher's decision on how to proceed.
Okay.
You don't have to ask for permission.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not. If you're going to ask for permission, it's not the way to go. But if you're going to be asking the character for advice on how to proceed, not for permission though.
No, No, the way I would do it is Myr knows the captain's abilities, and he has a feeling that he would do just about anything to save Prax, at least Azrael, and even in pain, he may help me. Is what's going through my brain.
Do you want me to talk to the symbiote?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what I want you to do.
Oh, like mind connect with it and say, hey, dude, calm down, but doing it psychically.
Yeah, telepathically connect with the symbiont and calm it down.
We can do
Maybe you can even do like an empath thing where you just like induce a calm over
No,
the symbiote.
Starix is telepathic. He's not empathic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can talk to it. I mean, I guess I can talk to it, or I can definitely talk to Prax, who can talk to it. But so if you want to put that as a suggestion,
that would play into Book's thing on calming it down, and so that I can perform the surgery without it getting any more pushy. Does that work for the 3? Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bank a threat here, but I will give you a little caveat here. You guys, in this last bit of talking, were probably closer to being on the right track, but keep it scientific.
That's probably gonna rule out mind control or mind talking or whatever.
Not necessarily.
Wasn't that on the table?
Necessarily.
So the third and
He said,
final hypothesis wasn't off. It was just our way of going about it maybe wasn't the best.
So in all the time, so in this time I've been hearing you guys talk, the people that were probably the closest to actually knowing what's going on has been the captain and Book. In fact, they have said exactly my idea, except they either talked themselves out of it or they forgot what they said. So you two are very close to figuring out what's going on.
I think the thing that I've been pushing at and Kier's been pushing at together has just been making the symbiote think the host is fine. Or in some way chemically inducing it to stop messing with the host, which is I guess another way of saying making it feel like there's nothing wrong with Azrael.
Even if we can't make it feel like it's fine, can we maybe induce into thinking that it's better off with the host? Like, for example, if you were to give a virus to the symbiote, one that it could not survive if it killed Azrael, it would have to stop so that we could save Azrael.
Yeah, but with the I mean, I wouldn't take it off the table because we can propose 3 different things. I don't know how we can communicate with it. So I guess we could do that if we're talking about using chemicals to alter its thinking. But I don't know. I guess we should say that those are 2 different hypotheses. One is convincing it Azrael's fine, and the other one is convincing it that it should stay with the host. Yeah.
Was putting them both in a medically induced coma thrown off the table? Was that one that was denied?
I put that in the same vein as being frozen because it's really similar. Because and the fact they're already in a medically induced coma.
Okay. Damn it.
So if we wanted to suggest another 3, we would just need 1 more.
I have a question. What was the first thing I said where you guys said Azrael will punch you in the face?
Oh,
what was that one?
If you intentionally allow the symbiote to die in an effort to save the host's life, you're kind of standing against everything.
No. Not that. Specifically the wording of the suggestion that made them say Azrael will punch me in the face. Because I think that's where my thought process started and I lost it. I think if we get it back, I'll have a more concrete idea of where I was going with this in the first place. Because I didn't say let's kill the host. I mean, let's kill the symbiote. You guys said we have to prioritize the Prax symbiote over the host. And I said that wasn't the problem at hand. But I'm trying to remember what came before that. Hey, Twitch listeners, please tell us.
The only thing I can think of is in any way suggesting that the host is important in relation to the symbiote. Like, I don't know that there was something specific. I thought it was just that suggestion which made them say that.
It was.
I mean, I don't remember the actual thing that you proposed that suggested that to them. Just that the suggestion was that. Like, I'm sure there was some medical procedure or idea to save one of them that you had, but it implied that, and that's why they said that. I can't remember what the procedure
sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was something you suggested, but I don't remember what it was.
I mean, there are also technological means in linking the two actually mentally, but that's neither here nor there. I do probably have the chemicals on me to induce a calming effect on the symbiont. So I could possibly do that and then operate on Azrael. So
yeah, so that's definitely one of the two we've got. We still need a third though.
the third would be getting, because there are neural link devices that they do have that we could use to, you know what, to link me and the symbiont mentally, so I can say everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. I mean, it's a technical thing, but that could be the third one. But once again, I could just get another threat and be all wrong. So let's find out.
Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah, it's an idea, and it's it's Trill physiology, so it's something I'd be familiar with, and being Trill, it may trust me a little more. So that could be number 3, because we keep talking ourselves in the same 2. So.
All right. So please explain to me in detail what your 3 hypotheses are and the thought process behind them, please.
Okay. I know for sure one of them is using like serotonin and stuff like that, the happy brain chemistry stuff, and like try to calm the symbiont into not killing Azrael while I work on her. The second, I believe, was, what was it?
To make the symbiote kind of dependent on Azrael,
yeah,
so it will give us time.
Yeah, infect the symbiont with a minor virus to think that to make it dependent on Azrael even more than it already is. And then the third is to take those they're shit, they look like little implants that kind of go on your temples, and they're supposed to like match the brain frequencies or something. I don't remember. It was used in an episode of DS9. That's all I remember. But it was, no, to be fair, I think it was illegal, and it was used on what's his face.
We've done a lot of illegal stuff in the last few days.
That's true. What's more, it's basically the thing they used on what's his face from Section 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To link my brain with the symbiont. Or somebody else's, somebody not doing the surgery, maybe Reaver, without joining her.
Reaver could gain a focus or a talent because she was used last session. I was waiting until the end to pick it, but
this would be the perfect time for her to have counselor. Like a counselor thing.
So you're going those 3 hypotheses?
Yeah.
Okay, I will say 1 is the right way. So now what we will do is we'll move on to the testing phase. So at this moment in time, so what the doctor will do is he's going to pick one of those hypotheses to start work on. There is a certain number of successes you will need to succeed at the roll, but I cannot tell you how many there were or if it's even in the correct one. So
Okay.
you'll have to
But you can
gauge it by.
tell us- I thought there was something that you could tell us about when we had gotten.
The only thing I can
completed
tell you is
research
when
the
you
wrong
succeed.
one.
The only thing I can tell you
Oh.
at this point is if you succeed or not. So if you guys happen to pick the right one and you get enough successes, I would tell you you succeeded at it.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the.
So there is one more little caveat I have to mention.
Okay.
There will only be 8 timed intervals.
Okay.
Before the symbiote will reach critical and will need to be removed. Otherwise, both will die.
Okay.
So you have 8 tasks, or you have 4 tasks essentially to choose the right one and get the correct number of successes. At the end of 8, we will have to go to task.
Okay.
And we also have to keep in mind that we currently do not have power.
Wait, I thought I fixed the power.
Nope.
Shit. Okay.
So that is also something else to keep in mind, as it does add a complication to all the task roles.
Bad engineer. Bad.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. I'm gonna start with the one that is the least evasive, which is the actual stabbing it with serotonin, or calming neurochemicals to calm it down.
Okay, so in addition to you would have a normal task roll, and then anyone that has a medicine discipline of 2 or more is able to assist you.
Okay.
Cool, so I can assist.
Coolies, and so can Reaver, I think.
You will have to spend another crew support because this is the last.
Hold on. Do we want to repair the power first to remove that complication?
I don't think we
Is
have
that
the
a
time.
possibility?
It's always a possibility. You have essentially 8 intervals to try to achieve this task, and anything else that might come up.
So basically, it's a pick and choose kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm
I think
gonna do this with a light. Yeah, I'm gonna do this with a flashlight. All right. Let's do this, I guess. All right.
Does anyone other than Myr and Kier have a 2 medicine?
Beaver does.
I could try to fix the power. I have 2 engineering.
Nah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here goes nothing. I'm spinning a momentum for a 3rd dice.
You should still have 1 determination when
Yeah.
when you need it.
Yeah, I do.
Is it
There's
complication
3
range too?
successes.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you guys are working in the dark.
Cool, and now I do my roll?
Yeah, so you're just gonna
Which
roll.
is-
So yours is just gonna be task roll 1, and reason and medicine.
Cool, cool, cool. And do I also add complication and maybe a focus for emergency medicine?
I will allow the emergency medicine as emergency as it gets, and the complication range is 2. Task roll 1.
Okay.
So yes to 1.
I should have asked for the emergency medicine because that would have been a.
Yeah, I know.
Like that would have been
Didn't
2
help at all.
for Reaver if emergency medicine applied.
Yeah, but I already made the choice. Sorry. Well, technically I didn't.
Okay, so it's pretty obvious you have 4 successes.
Yep.
And that was the first round.
Yep.
And my understanding is that the range can be anywhere between like 1 to 10 or so. So whether you're on the right answer or you're not, we don't know yet for sure.
Oh, I know. So roll again.
So at this point, you get the choice. You could either stay in this work or you can choose something else.
No, I'm gonna keep going with this one. And I'm going to spend another momentum for 3 dice.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay, so that is 8 successes. And so, Doctor, you are able to create an inoculation that you feel is going to send a signal to the symbiote in hopes that it'll trick the symbiote to thinking that the host body is perfectly healthy, and therefore will try to stop the sapping of energy from the symbiote.
Okay.
And as you inoculate the host, it seems to be working. The vital signs are starting to return to normal from the host body.
All right. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's time to start. All right. And I start looking for where to start on patching up Azrael so that that doesn't happen again. Once
Right.
it's, yeah.
Give me let's go controller daring and medicine, and we'll call this difficulty 5, complication range 2.
Okay.
Do I still get to assist?
Yes.
I'm going
Can I
to
use driven to ease suffering?
I don't think you can use a determination on an assist.
Not
right, assist.
not if you're assisting.
However,
Cool.
I would like to use the determination no one dies on Tomar's watch and tap that value.
Sure can.
And I'll get the dice that rolls a 1, so I'm going to spend 2 dice for a third, or 2 momentum if we still have it.
Yep,
For the
you do.
third.
So you are
All right.
out of momentum at the moment.
All right. So, oh God. That is
That's
7. Yeah.
Eight.
That's 8 total.
Yep. So you'll bank 3 momentum. No one rolled the complication, right? Nope. So, Doctor, you and your team of assistants here are working feverishly to try to stabilize the Prax host, or as the Azrael host, as quickly as possible before the medication wears off. And you do it. She's out of the woods. I won't bore you with the medical details. You can make that up on your own.
Yeah. After it's done, even though she probably can't hear me, but on the hopes that she can, you owe me a drink. And that'll be the end of that. After stitching her back up, I will go and, because the anesthetic and sleeping stuff should be waking up off of Michaelson, or wearing off of Michaelson right about now. So I'm gonna go check on him.
All right, and actually, I think this will probably be the perfect time to call the end of the episode.
I agree. This is so distressing.
Next week, Michaelson.
So yeah, what did you guys think?